15 Pro Max has had a very long, tired day, and it's not over yet. If we're going to get the lowdown on Apple's newest titanium smartphone, this first day of my iPhone's life will also need to be his last day. And it's only fair we give him one last sip of electrons before he goes. My channel sponsor Anker just released a brand new 10,000 milliamp hour nano power bank with a built-in USB-C cable, capable of charging up an iPhone 15 from 0 to 50% in just 30 minutes. It can charge up 3 devices simultaneously and has a little countdown timer display with a percentage so we know just how much juice is left. Didn't know I wanted that till I saw it. If you're looking for an even smaller nano bank, this guy's got a bidirectional charger that both recharges itself and charges other devices with the same little flippy port that's long enough to reach up through a protective case. And it still has enough capacity inside to fully charge up even the biggest iPhone. And finally, the trippiest charger of the bunch, the Anker Nano 6-in-1 charging station. Check this out. Not only does it store super flat on a desk or something so you can use the USB ports, but when you go to plug it into a normal prong device, it rises up to meet the occasion. I almost want to take this thing apart instead of the iPhone. The Anker Nano 6-in-1 is great for traveling since it's small when you don't need it and big when you do. Anker's been charging up all of my personal phones for the last 3 years, and you can check out all the chargers and their colors with the link in the description. Now, it's officially time to say goodbye to our iPhone 15 Pro Max. Farewell, my friend. The goal of this teardown is to accomplish a few things. One, see if we can find that unholy junction of titanium and aluminum inside the frame. And two, I've got to see the inside of this new 5x Tetra Prism telephoto lens. With the two pentalobe screws removed near our new USB-C port, we are well on our way to getting answers. With some heat and a powerful suction cup and my handy-dandy jerry-rig razor knife, I can slice between the plastic bezel of the screen and the titanium edge of the phone. Titanium is just fun to say. This removal process is much harder than it looks, by the way. First-time screen repairs are usually never successful. With the IP68 glue cutaway and the brackets lifted up and out of the frame, we get our first look inside the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It's clean, organized, and an absolute nightmare from here on out. A new cute little addition, though, is this springy foil tape stuff on top of the camera unit, loudspeaker, and Taptic engine. What is this for, you ask? I have no idea. The battery has a warning, trained technician, serviceable only, and good news for us, I took a karate class once when I was 10, so I'm definitely a trained technician. Ka-chow. Was that Lightning McQueen? To unplug the battery, we use our first of 4 different screwdriver bits, a tri-point. There's 6 screws around the large main plate. And even though the 15 Pro Max is IP68 water resistant, Apple still stuck a little water damage indicator sticker in here next to the circuit boards, which will tattle on you if liquid ever gets inside. Apple doesn't trust nobody. The red bleeds through the sticker to make it pink when it gets wet. The battery plug is a convenient positive and negative icon on the Lego style ribbon connector, and then we can pop off the 2 screen ribbons. Not too shabby. With the very thin screen taken off and set to the side, we can use a plastic pry tool to pop off 11 more Lego-style ribbon connectors from the motherboard. There are 3 standoff screws and a 4th tucked way up under the loudspeaker in the left corner, which is held in place by a few screws of its own. The upper loudspeaker doesn't have any foam balls inside, but that's okay. Now here's where things start to get interesting. There appears to be a ribbon leading over to the 5G antenna that's soldered to the back of the motherboard. Not super normal. And peeling it off the motherboard reveals that I was most definitely not supposed to peel it off the motherboard. There is a secondary ribbon that's probably for the rear wireless charger and stuff. We'll find out more when we take off the back glass. It's crazy that this little guy, this tiny little singular stacked motherboard, is the entirety of the iPhone 15 Pro experience. Every blue bubble, every message, every like, heart, thumbs up, emoji, smiley face, GIF, picture taken, and video watched all happen right here, inside a space no bigger than a human thumb. Apple says that 100% of the copper and tin used in this motherboard has been recycled, which is pretty cool. The 12 megapixel front-facing camera and sensor array come out next without any qualms. No OIS yet. The absolutely massive triple camera setup comes out next. These units probably take up more real estate than the entire motherboard. Apple says all the gold inside of his units has also been previously recycled. We have a 48 megapixel main camera at the bottom, then the ultra cool 5 times tetra prism camera in the middle, with the 12 megapixel wide angle camera up top. The side two units are the ones that do the spatial video thing for the goggle thing. I'm pumped to take apart the tetra prism later. Whoever came up with that name needs a raise. Sounds kind of like an old school Street Fighter move, tetra prism. With a bunch more screws taken out of the bottom of the phone, we get access to the Taptic engine, also using recycled tungsten, and our lower loudspeaker with its waterproofing mesh over the opening. No visible balls on this speaker either, so that might just be an Android thing. Or Apple will invent it in a couple years. Check this out though, a bright neon orange gasket for the loudspeaker opening. Orange is the coolest. If this ain't a sign from Tim Cook to go buy an orange jerry rig knife, then I don't know what it is. Thanks, Tim. Now, another significant upgrade this year is the USB-C port. But just like with every iPhone released in the last decade, there are 17 trillion different size screws holding it in place. So many, in fact, that we're just not going to deal with it right now, and I'll deal with it after we get the back glass and battery off. The back glass, I assume, would normally come off in one piece. However, mine shattered during the durability test and now wants to come off in lots of pieces. I also committed an ultimate blunder and accidentally had my camera off for most of the removal process. But don't worry, I saved the good bits for you. Like this wireless charging pad, which is also made from 100% recycled copper. And surprisingly, the little magnets that surround the outside are also 100% recycled. I have no idea how magnets get recycled, nor do I understand how magnets even work in the first place. If my back glass was in one piece, it probably would have been a whole lot easier to remove. The metal frame below the glass does appear to have a silver gleam of aluminum and not the tannish hue of titanium. I think we're getting close to finding out where the aluminum stops and the titanium starts. Looks like the large L-shaped battery does have magic pull tabs holding it in place, but I also have a full circle of access from the back that I can use to push it out and away from the frame. Apple's pull tabs are great and all, but they also scrunch them down so tiny next to the battery, making it pretty hard to grip them and use them. The Apple 15 Pro Max has a 4,441 milliamp hour battery that's made with 100% recycled cobalt. I feel that's actually like a really big deal that nobody's talking about. I can remove a few more screws that are holding the 5G antenna to the frame of the phone. It looks like this is indeed what was soldered at the back of the motherboard. Super strange. I wonder if a Lego style ribbon connector on a cable this long just doesn't have the bandwidth needed to handle 5G. The whole phone design is kind of whack. It's like someone's friend owns a tiny screw factory and Apple is single-handedly trying to keep them in business. With another 5 trillion screws removed from the charging port antenna, we can pull the USB-C 3.0 up and out of the phone. From C to shining USB-C, the world has finally come together for one gloriously symmetrical oval data port. Now, when a phone gets anodized or PVD coated, this coating happens to the metal all at once. So when I see shiny bare metal inside of the phone, I know it's aluminum and a completely separate piece from our blue titanium that's on the outside. You can peek around the inner edge and see the blue titanium everywhere around the border, even a little window through the aluminum into the titanium.